Morning all, you are joining us in sunny Istanbul. So we got here last night, we were pretty tired, it was basically just an entire day of travel, so we went straight to bed. We got a walking tour this morning in the rain. Walking tour done. I thought it was alright, probably average amongst the tours that we've done. We're going to go and check out the cisterns next. Right, we've stopped for lunch now before we do the Archaeology Museum, which is I think it's basically just a cheese bagel. Do you want to try yours and give us a verdict?
Just trying a bit like bread with Philadelphia.
Get what you pay for, it's only £1. Archaeology Museum's done. I thought it was pretty good. The Greek and Roman stuff was excellent. I would have liked more Byzantine stuff. What did you think?
I thought it was quite good, it was quite big. Normally they're a lot smaller.
Size isn't everything. It doesn't want your friendship. It doesn't. It just wants food. Now I'm going to head to a couple of the markets before we head back to our district for dinner. Go on. Quickly, to edit this out. Right. What was that? Sound like you're saying something. Singing? Yeah. Morning all, we're now at, I think it's pronounced Dolmabahçe, I don't know, Dolmabahçe Palace, Dolmabahçe maybe, but anyway, it's one of the Ottoman palaces. I think he said it was a royal residence for probably the last 100-150 years of the reign. So we're doing this today, and then we're going to head up to Rumeli Fortress in the afternoon is the plan. Right, palace is basically done. You couldn't take photos or videos inside, so there's not a lot to show, but I don't think there would have been anyway. There's a lot of it was just like wooden floor. The walls were pretty like beige, like one colour of paint, and the ceilings were just kind of painted on like a lot of the detail that would have been actually there in reality in like the palaces in Germany or Austria. I suspect the dynasty was running out of money at the time it was built, because I think it was like the 1850s or something like that. When they were known as the sick man of Europe, but yeah, probably the most underwhelming palace we've seen. What do you think, Millie?
I agree.
Do you rank it bottom of the pile?
Yeah.
Don't think my fake manners held up too well in the bag or in the heat. Alright, Museum of Paintings is now done, so that's actually probably more interesting, I thought, than the actual palace itself. I thought there's just more in it, a bit more substance. Painting's quite interesting, it actually gave you some information, which the other palace was quite lacking in. So, yeah, if you do come to the palace, I'd definitely make sure you do the Museum of Paintings, because I think that was probably the best bit for me. What do you think? Yeah, so I may as well. Right, next stop will be Rumeli Fortress, I think it is. So in the fortress now. So the fortress was built by Mehmet II, basically to cut off ships coming into Constantinople before the siege. So he built it in 4 months, which was very, very impressive. It's closed for renovations, although a bit of it is open, and that is reflecting like a cheaper price. So it's definitely like the cheapest thing we've done. So we're gonna have a wander, see what we're allowed to see, but probably still worth coming and seeing, I'd say, because you can still see the outside of it pretty well.
Let's not do that.
We finished quite a lot earlier than we planned, so we're going to head over to the Asian side, as there is a Ottoman summer residence over there, so a summer palace. Oh, it's not going to pick it up, but it's actually just across the river. Not going to see that at all. And I'd love to see more of these in the centre of Leeds. So we are now in Asia at the summer palace, so we can have a wander around. Looks like it might be quite similar to the Upper Belvedere, where it's actually under renovation, and all you can see is a picture of the outside. Really reminds me of the Upper Belvedere. Right, Beylerbeyi Palace is now done. I actually thought it was a lot nicer than the Dolmabahçe one, how we pronounce it. Yes, that we did this morning. It was a fraction of the price, and I actually thought it was better. I thought the rooms looked nicer, had more in them, more information, nicer colourings.
A lot cheaper.
A lot. I have already said a fraction of the price. Let's not look tight by mentioning it 2 or 3 times, but it is a lot cheaper. So the Topkapi one, I don't know how you pronounce it, but we're doing a big one tomorrow. That's meant to be the big palace, and that's meant to be the best one. The one we did this morning is meant to be second best. I actually, if you're doing, yeah, I would go to that one instead of the one we did this morning, definitely. But I'm hoping tomorrow's might top both of them. So we're now at the Anadoluhisarı, which is another fort. We could see it across the river from the one we were at earlier, the Rumeli Fortress. So this one was built in the 1390s by Sultan Yildirim Bayezid, and he built it in preparation for his own invasion of Constantinople. However, his failed. He was no Mehmet II, so we thought we'd come and have a look. So it's actually, because it was built in the 1390s as preparation, it is as a result the oldest Ottoman structure in Istanbul. You can see the Rumeli Fortress over there. Morning all, on our way to Topkapi Palace. Right, Topkapi Palace now done. How did we rate it?
8.5.
Best of the three?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So I think my order would be this one by a distance, then the summer one we did yesterday, and then the one we did first yesterday, which I didn't rate at all. This one's excellent, loads to do, so it's like 3 o'clock now. We came in at 9 and we've only just finished everything. I quite liked just the architecture. It actually felt like an Ottoman palace, whereas the other ones it was more like European style, but with like some Ottoman influence, whereas this was just, as you've seen, pure Ottoman. So we're heading back to the apartment now, but there's a park next to the palace that used to be part of the grounds, so we're checking that out first. So that's the Column of the Goths, which is the oldest surviving Roman monument in the city. Yeah. Alright, you knew that. You also read the sign. So we're now getting our tickets for the Hagia Sofia Mosque. So I think we're going to try and go in there now if we can and it's not too busy. The plan is we're also going to try and go in the Blue Mosque today. There's also a couple of districts we want to walk around and have a look at, and then finally we want to go and have a look at the Golden Horn and have a bit of, I say a cruise around there, but we're just going to hop on one of the ferries because we'd like to have a look at that as well. Right, Hagia Sophia's done. I really enjoyed it. It's quite expensive, but it is what it is. I don't think I wouldn't have been able to go to Istanbul and not go in, but I thought it was pretty good, that being said. Now in the Fener and Balat districts, I don't know how you pronounce them, so just going to have a wander around. I think there were some places that would have been quite nice if there weren't loads of people there. I appreciate we're part of the problem because we were also tourists and we're complaining about all the other tourists. But so there was like multicoloured steps and like just full of people, so you couldn't really enjoy the steps. And the multicoloured houses, like there's quite a lot of places with houses like that. So for me, pretty average. But breakfast was very nice and at least we ticked it off. Anything to add?
It's the old Jewish and Christian neighbourhood, is this?
That doesn't matter.
Just saying. That is history.
So we're at the Golden Horn now, so we're about to hop on one of the ferries just to have a bit of a cruise up in. But interestingly, where the Great Chain was, it said one of the points connecting the Great Chain that used to go across to prevent ships going in was actually a Galata Tower, which is by very coincidence, or I guess not if we come to this area, but it's just opposite where we are, it's just over there. So where we are, it might have been potentially where the other half of the chain actually was, connecting it to Galata Tower. So this could be sort of a key bit. So just done our little ferry trip, which was in the wrong direction. Turns out you can't actually get public ferries up the Golden Horn. I think they've done that to try and force you to get a private one instead of cheapskating it like we plan to do. I think as it's basically the same experience as what we've already had, just on a different part of the river, I don't think we're going to bother, because it's more the history of it, which you already get from this point. So for anyone interested, here's the Golden Horn. It just goes up there, basically. Yeah, although it starts a bit further down. It starts at Eminönü, which is where we started really, where it was opposite the Galata Tower, isn't it? So that's the Golden Horn, but it looks basically like any other part of the Bosphorus really. So I think the bit we've actually done is probably prettier, if anything. But yeah, Golden.
Industrial.
Yeah, it's very industrial. So yeah, Golden Horn sort of done. as done as we're going to get it. So yeah, next scenes will be in the Blue Mosque. Morning all, final day in Istanbul today, starting with the Istanbul Military History Museum, which was Millie's choice. This is a Byzantine flag taken in the conquest. So that's the chain that was at the entrance of the Golden Horn in the conquest of Constantinople. Right, military museum's done. I thought it was excellent. Loads of stuff in there. Probably better than the museum we saw in Vienna. It had the chain that was on the Golden Horn, as I showed. I think seeing that alone made it worth it for me. But yeah, I thought it was very good. Breakfast is done. I think we're just going to go through one of the shopping districts. Technology museum's done. I thought it was pretty average. Right, dinner is done. We went to the place that we went to 2 nights ago because it's our final night and we enjoyed it there. Our flight is at 8 AM tomorrow, so I think that's probably the last thing we'll do in Istanbul, but I've really enjoyed Istanbul. I think the exhibits and museums have been quite expensive, however the accommodation, food and transport has been incredibly cheap, so it averages out, I think, still a pretty decent trip. I think there's absolutely loads to do, really interesting history, absolutely loved it here, probably my favourite city of the trip, and that's on a very strong trip. But yeah, very good 3 weeks, really enjoyed it. I think it's ended on a high with Istanbul as well. So anything to add, Millie?
Been a very good trip. Probably my favourite is Istanbul as well. Topkapi Palace was very good. Very beautiful city.
Do you like the cats?
I love the cats. The cat's probably one of my favourite things about here.
Right, so I think that's everything from us. No idea when the next video will be because I've got nothing lined up and this has been quite a big trip and it's been a big 3-weeker, so don't know when the next video will be, but I'm sure something will drop at some point. So if you've enjoyed our journey, like, comment and subscribe, and thank you very much.